Alright. So we doing this for my man T2 Jahudi. He's a big Michigan fan. He's a New England fan. But we're not using New England. You already know I'm not gonna use New England. That's not gonna happen. But I do know he's a big fan of the Browns and they're closer to Michigan. So we're gonna use the Browns as the NFL version of the Michigan alumni. So let's go ahead and meet the Browns. Now you already know, of course, starting QB, Tom Brady. Backup, Chad Henne. Now what I did, similar to what you saw if you're watching the Irish videos, the Irish Saints, go check those videos out. The backups, I did the top overall rating for the worst player, the worst starter, the worst top rated player for each position. It really was actually 67, but I just have a standard going back to NCAA football to Madden. I don't like to have anybody on my roster lower than a 68. Like that's the worst I'll allow somebody. So even like their awareness, I try to keep their awareness at 68 at the minimum. Because from my experience, 68 is like the worst that you could have somebody come in and they could still be like, even when NCAA 4 years in the program, they probably only get up to like an 81, but that's the worst that somebody could come in and still contribute some way, somehow to the team. All right. So in the running backs, we got 3 running backs. We had to fill the roster because it wasn't enough guys. So we took this guy, Jason Huntley. He's from the area. He's from the Cleveland area. So he's going to be kick returns. Uh, I'm not a big Michigan fan, so I'm probably get some of these names wrong. So I don't know if it's Karen or Karan Higdon. I'm thinking it's maybe probably more Karan, but you know it's 2022, almost 2023. So you know people like to be more creative with names, so it might be Karen or Karan, but that's his name. He's gonna be doing punt returns and back with Huntley on the kick returns. You know I like to have my rookie running backs. So we're starting off with Chris Evans. Now, yeah, none of these guys. Matter of fact, Chris Evans was the highest rated, and he was only like a 66 or 67 himself. So when I did an average of the top, the highest rate for every position, it only averaged down to 76, unfortunately, for Michigan. So all the starters are 76s. The backups are 68. Higdon, he just because of the scheme, he got a boost up to a 70. But that's what it is. All right. So at fullback, we got Ben Mason. Our wide receivers, we got the OG Devin Funches, and we got Donovan Peoples-Jones. I kept him in his Cleveland Browns number since he's already on the Cleveland Browns roster. We got Nico Collins, Darbo, and then Chesson. I try to put people back in their Michigan numbers. I kept Tom Brady at 12 because everybody just really knows Tom Brady for being number 12. So he TB12, he got his own little signature. So, you know, we just kept it like that. If you didn't know, Tom Brady wore 10 in college. The tight ends, I didn't try to pick one or the other because we're just going to go more with receivers than tight ends compared to the Irish Saints situation. You know, Irish Saints have a plethora of tight ends. The position, there's one position that they have the most players at. So I highlighted tight end more on that team, but here they only had 3 because they technically he's a long snapper. He's not really a tight end. So Cheeseman, that's the long snapper, but we only had these 2 tight ends, and so they're really just. If you watch again, my Irish Saints, you will see tight ends. You know, I kind of lead them more just glorified smaller tackles. So they're just there to block. Offensive tackles, they're just there to block. So these both stayed at 68. So at left tackle, we got the OG Taylor. Back up is a Schofield. Then we got Jalen Mayfield, the rookie. He's gonna be starting. Got John Runyon here, and we got Magnuson, Glasgow, and Cole. They are the centers. At right guard, we got Ruiz, Omame, and Bredesen, and then Onwenu, and Onwenu, I don't know, and then Braden at the tackles. All right, so at the defensive end, we got Brandon Graham and Quiddy Pay, Frank Clark and Taco Charlton. At the D tackle, we got Chris Wormley, Maurice Hurst, Doug Costin, and Willie Henry. Now we also again had to fill up the roster because it wasn't enough Michigan players. So we just signed a bunch of players from the MAC that were available to be signed, and then we also signed like a couple other guys, fill up the practice squad and stuff. All right, so left outside linebackers Winovich and Uche, Devin Bush, Glasgow, and Hudson. I don't know if this Glasgow is related to the other Glasgow, but those are the middle linebackers. You see, Devin Bush got to wear the number 10 from college. Rashawn Gary and Ben Gideon, they are the right outside linebackers. At corners, we got the OG Jordan Lewis. He ain't really that OG, but he's the OG out of this group. David Long, Ambry Thomas, Kadar Hallman, and Brandon Rusnak. Then we got Jared Wilson and Josh Mathias at the free safety. At strong safety, we have Jabril Peppers and Lano Hill. So, man, we're going to have to try to keep the ball out of the opposing offense's hands because the defense is the kicker, Quinn Nordin. Now, this dude was supposed to go to the practice squad. He wasn't even supposed to be up here. Oops. I probably need to go sign somebody out the practice squad then. This dude was just supposed to fill a roster spot. Because we was keeping Dustin Colquitt because he was already on the team and they didn't have a punter, and then Norden is doing all the punting duties. So, oops. This was an accident. All right, let's go fix that real quick. All right, so the practice squad now that's been corrected. So there you see Gillen. Oh, we signed a couple guys from HBCUs. That's what we did too. So give them a chance. So we got Mike Danner here on the practice squad. Tucker McCain, he's from Mizzou. He went to college at Mizzou. You know, making these videos from St. Louis. All right, then we got Cameron McGrone, Carlo Kemp, Sam Slowman. He's from the MAC. Like I said, we just signed some MAC guys because it's close to Ohio. Jaquan Hardy, John Vay Johnson, Levante Bellamy, and Emmanuel Hall. They fill up the practice squad. All right, man, so let's hop into the first game.